Good morning and welcome to another edition of Brewin on Broad Street. I'm Steve Snyder, entrepreneur in residence here at Gesmer. We're a full-service law firm for the life cycle of rapidly growing technology companies. We do dozens and dozens of transactions every year for our growing companies. And in fact, over the past 19 years, we've done financings for clients that have raised more than $5.4 billion. That's billion with a B. And we do an exceedingly large amount of M&A work, which totals more than $6.4 billion over the past 19 years. So we're very active in helping our clients grow and succeed. This morning, it's a special treat for me to be here to introduce you to Korey Cournoyer. Welcome.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Korey has been with Growth Lab Financial for more than 10 years. He has been an integral part of the success of Growth Lab through business development and sales and marketing, and it is a treat to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You are now the CEO of STRMS, which is a bit of a spin out from Growth Lab.
Yeah.
Tell us about STRMS.
So STRMS, we work with mostly service-based businesses, and what we're solving for is we're building custom workflow automations. So for many of these service-based businesses, right, you have multiple apps and you have your tech stack built out. The problem is that a lot of these apps don't talk to each other. And so what we do at STRMS is we help focus on the process of data entry and data migration, and then build custom integrations along the tech stack for these service-based businesses.
And what was the thought process behind moving the expertise out of Growth Lab into this new, very compelling business?
I think it really came down to A, different business model, but B, finding ways to support service-based businesses more outside of Growth Lab. We work with a lot of accounting firms as well, and Growth Lab Financial at its core is an accounting firm. And so segmenting these so that we can focus on supporting service-based businesses in different ways than what Growth Lab has historically provided.
You are so talented.
Thank you.
As I mentioned in my introduction, with business development and marketing and finance and workflow maximization, how did you get all of those pieces to fit together, and how did you do this?
I'm a big believer that at the end of the day, technology is not a silver bullet, right? Technology can enable people. It can help people become more efficient, help businesses scale, help them grow. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing, and it's process. And I think that that's the case across whether it's sales or marketing or workflow optimization or automation or, I mean, even any core business, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to process. And so that's where I like to focus is process optimization. And that can mean sales, it can mean customer success, it can mean any kind of one of those pieces. And so I actually view them, yes, while they solve different pieces in a business, sales versus customer success, at the end of the day, the only way to grow those departments is coming down to process. And so that's my focus.
So process optimization, what's the primary target audience for STRMS?
Service-based businesses. The service-based businesses that are in the cloud, they have cloud-based technology, and they are finding themselves whether it's having to enter data multiple times, whether it's setting up multiple systems different times. What we do is we build those automations to follow the process, to automate the routine tasks.
And it sounds like this optimization is not only compelling, but for so many companies, it's a necessity.
Yeah,
so
especially now.
How do you convey that?
You know, the AI and automation right now, it's becoming bigger and bigger. It's becoming, in some ways, more trendy. And I think what I've found is that a lot of businesses, they want to automate, right? They want to leverage AI. The stopper for them is, where do I start? Where do I actually build this, right? And I'm a big believer that you don't need to boil the ocean, right? Start small. And so when we work with these businesses, it's focused, like I said, on process, and then from there we can help them design what that future state looks like for enabling automation.
And how do you help them see that their pain points and what working with streams will do to make their pain go away?
You know, everyone knows their processes in their business, right? I think that the biggest turning point when working with businesses is what we do is we'll actually map out their processes on a visual workflow mapping. And what I find is, as business owners, they describe their process and I map it out on a visual flow chart. It's that aha moment of when you can take a step back and look at that and say, that's the issue, right? It conveys a whole different feeling for businesses when they can not just speak the process, but when they can look at it on a big picture, and that's usually where you can start to uncover the opportunity.
So that aha moment for them is the realization of the pain that they are encountering and the significance of that pain. And then how do you help them see the return on investment that they will get by working with streams?
So with streams, we'll go through that process mapping. You know, there's a lot of things that can be automated, but I'm a big believer also that not everything should be automated, right? And so what we'll do is we'll work together on that process map and say, hey, Steve, you can automate these 10 things, but maybe these 5 are really whether it's a low-hanging fruit or those are the critical junctures to automate and help optimize the business. From there, we have a development team, and we'll actually develop the custom integrations for them. It usually takes about 1 to 2 months, all in. And then from there, we fully manage the automation. So that after that 2-month period, that's that immediate return on investment because we automate those steps, right? Whatever we come to the table with and map out together, turning around, we automate and fully manage the solution.
And give our audience some examples of the feedback that you're getting from customers that are now using streams.
I think going back to your previous question, it's what I think most of our customers appreciate the most is that journey and that exercise of mapping things out. Because like I said, everyone wants to automate, but they don't know what's possible. And so what I found is when we go through that exercise together, when we identify those automations for them and can provide immediate return on investment once developed, they see the light at the end of the tunnel. They see the opportunity. They understand now what automation can do for their business. And what I've heard from them is that they're able to scale quicker because now they have a solution that can scale with them, right? So you don't need to just keep hiring individuals to support your scaling growth. You can leverage technology in an optimized way to actually scale without increasing headcount.
So use Stream to scale more quickly without adding headcount. That's it?
That's the one-liner.
Great. So let's take a different path now. Putting business aside, we're going to the lightning round. You ready?
I think so.
Hobbies.
Traveling with my wife.
Okay, a great segue because my second question was going to be favorite places to travel to.
Mexico. Riviera Maya.
Very nice. Have you been there recently?
Last summer was the last time I went. But my wife and I go every year.
Okay. Any place after the Riviera Maya?
Ooh. Somewhere warm.
Me too.
California, Florida, somewhere warm.
Perfect. Perfect. So thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you.
I want to make sure that our audience can be in touch with you. How do they contact you?
They can reach out on our website at STRMS.io, or they can email me at k.cournoyer@streams.io.
Perfect. And in fact, when our audience sees this video, they're going to see your email address there on the screen. And of course, you can be in touch with me at steve.snyder@gesmer.com. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of Brewin on Broad Street.